Morning, everyone. Good morning. Yes, it's good to be here again in person, isn't it? Yes. Give yourself a hand, yeah. Okay. Not much of a hand, but actually, by the way, none of you have changed at all. You all look the same, so I've recognized every one of you. Yeah, yes. Well, whatever. You said you wouldn't say that. Okay. With that, so that we can recognize some of our NCRO members, spouses, parents, brothers, sisters, family members, friends and neighbors. If maybe I can just ask everyone just to stand for a moment or so, and just a moment of silence, just so we can recognize those who have passed in the last couple of years. Okay, thank you. All right, I didn't mean to put the lull down in the crowd here. You know, it's like, yeah, we can make it more. How was the breakfast? Okay? Once again, thank you to San Marino and definitely the wait staff for doing a great job. I mean, just chatting with Lisa just before, I mean, they're the same as a lot of other small businesses. They just have a hard time getting help. So just for them to round up the wait staff and everything to serve us, I think that was great. So appreciate that very, very much. All right. Once again, good morning, everyone. This is our first membership meeting for this year. Actually, it's the first one since our first in-person membership meeting since February of 2020, so whatever that is, a year and a half. Although we did have a virtual meeting back in May. That came with no breakfast. I mean, unless you had like a donut on or something, then you had to finance it yourself. Well, I guess you finance it here anyways. So. My name is Mike Cipineri. I'm the MC for this morning. I'll briefly go over a few things before I introduce Jay Kuhnie, our president, and Jay will bring you up to date on some pertinent information that's NCRO has been involved with. I got to tell you, as a board, we struggled a little bit. Should we have this meeting? Shouldn't we have this meeting? We did have a survey, and it was a good response that people wanted to get back together, and I think this is a pretty good turnout considering it's our first one. And congratulations to all of you. I know we probably all just want to get out and see people again, so good for you. Things seem to be improving. Hopefully although depending on where you read in the news, you don't know if it's getting worse, getting better, but hopefully things will continue to improve. This is our 47th breakfast meeting, NCRO's 47th breakfast meeting. It's since we started this in 2008, so that's a pretty good string if you consider that. And it's because of all of our memberships that keep supporting this. So thank you very much for we got a great membership that keeps supporting these events. Okay, let's see. With that, let me go over a few things. Continue to visit our website, www.ncro.org. That's ncro.org. Rick Golpe and his team try to keep the information fresh, and so keep visiting that. There's pertinent information, not just relative to Chrysler retirees, but just maybe seniors and retirees in general. And you heard it here first. Okay, the website is going through a refreshing. So I'm told that we should see that around the end of this month, first of next month. So hopefully that'll be good. And it should help us to navigate a little bit easier, a little bit better. Our outstanding insurance committee, headed by Rich Brown and John Kaiser, they help our memberships navigate through a lot of the insurance questions that we have. We continuously get emails or phone calls at our office with questions on insurance, WageWorks, this, that, and everything. And they're just coming off a very successful seminar on September 14th, growing into Medicare and Social Security. So that's that's a good thing. However, you're in luck because today they have another seminar right after this. So, and we have a couple representatives here, David Baum from Butler Capital and David Key from Double Health USA. They'll be prime speakers at that seminar. So if you can, after this meeting, please stick around for that seminar. The notices for our 2022 dues will be going out around the end of this month, beginning in November. Some of you have already been sending in your dues payments. Good, glad to see you're ahead of the game. You don't have to send in another check if you've already paid that. And remember, it's $25 a year, not a month, but a year, $25 a year. It's a great deal. Yeah, we get a few of those. So it's a great deal. It's the best deal going, actually. So, like I said, the end of October, the notices should be going out. And once again, like in the past, we ask for your patience. I know a lot of times you send in the checks at the beginning of that, and then the checks don't get processed or cashed for 4 to 6 weeks. It just, being a volunteer organization, we kind of collect them and then we just kind of process them all at one time. So please, thank you for your patience on that. And thank you for your continued contributions to our Contingency Action Fund, the CAF, that helps us finance some of the extraordinary bills that we come up with, and Jay will probably touch base on that too. And please continue to support our retiree-friendly dealers. They advertise on our website. They're a source of revenue for our organization. And so please, if you can, please support them. We do have representatives from Golling here. We have Bill Golling and Mike Golling. I'm sorry, Bill? Very cool. So Bill said he's raffling off the Wagoneer. So everybody here gets a free ticket. So thanks for that, Bill. And Matt Godfrey from Golling. All right, let me see. One more thing. If you have any questions, please continue to call our office. I don't know if you're right, 248-633-2827. It's the same number we've had for the last 12 years or so. Or just go to our website and you can send in an email with any of the questions that you might have on anything, dues, WageWorks, insurance, whatever. Okay, that's all I have. Let me just briefly just go through our agenda. Right after me will be Jay. He'll bring us up on NCRO news and information. He'll talk for about a half hour or so, although he said he didn't have a half hour's worth of stuff, so he'll talk slow. And then our keynote speaker today is Joe Azdawi, and he'll talk about his global experiences and thoughts about his time at FCA. And we could probably all add a little bit to that too. And then we'll follow that up with a Q&A. And I think right in between the Q&A and adjourn, Rich Brown from our insurance committee is crashing this agenda, so he's got a couple words to say before we adjourn. So we should adjourn around noon, 12:15, and then shortly after that, we'll start with our seminar. So with that, Jay.
Good morning, everybody. How are you? Good. It's really good to see everybody here in person. It has been 608 days since we had one of these. I thought I was going to say 2 years, but I think 608 days seems a lot longer than a year and 8 months to me. So we're really glad to have you. Glad you were able to come out, and under the circumstances, we know we have, I think we have a great turnout, considering what's going on with COVID and maybe not understanding what really is going on with COVID or what's not. So we appreciate you coming out and being with us. Except I don't have a click. Well, is this my clicker? Wow. This looks like a grenade to me.
No, that's not.
I was going to say, I think that's recording, so I don't have a clicker.
I think the gold colored thing.
Gold colored thing. There is no gold colored thing. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. There is none. So I'm going to say next. How's that? Next. So I have a couple things I want to talk to you about quickly today. One is a little bit of an update on the NRLN and what's going on with our relationship with them. And then a little bit of an update on some of the things. Oh, I'm sorry, it was hidden. Forgive me. My fault, user error. Then I just give you a little bit of update on what's going on with the NCRO. NRLN. Everybody knows that we have that relationship with the national organization headed by Bill Catteright. And we're still working on a couple of things. Is it frustrating with you guys as much as it is with me with what's going on in Washington? Pretty good. And I'm being apolitical. I'm not being, the Democrats are the problem, the Republicans are the problem. They all are bad. They all are a problem, trust me. Fortunately, we haven't been to Washington now for almost a year and a half. The last time we were there was just before we had this meeting in February, so it hasn't been kind of the water torture that we've experienced. We are making some headway though, and I've said this before, I think I did this in May and updated everybody that pension overpayment issue that we've been working on, it seems like forever now. The language that we've developed is actually in 2 bills. So the language that we are supportive of is in these bills, HR 2952, and there's also a Senate bill that's has it in as well. We like the language. We think it's a compromise. As I told you, I think it eliminates companies going back more than 3 years, and it allows payments to be over 10 years instead of the 18 months that they used to try to do. So. But hang in there, we're pushing, but it doesn't seem like Washington is moving very quickly. They did tell us that they're trying to work on a pension bill, and this language is in that as well. There's also some information that we have in there on the annual funding notice, because if you get your annual funding notice in April, you probably don't know what it says. I don't, because it's kind of screwy, and it doesn't really give you the information that you need. It's 18 months old. It gives you, in the body of it, it gives you 3 different information on how the pension plan is funded. So I don't know how you know what the pension plan is funded if they give you 3 different numbers. So for me, the stuff we have put in there will in fact change that, and will in fact give you as current of information as there is available. It seems to me in the world of electronics today that we shouldn't have to wait 18 months for the financial information. This seems logical to me, but maybe not. Also, one of the things that the NRL is working on right now is some balancing between Medicare, original Medicare I'll call it, and Medicare Advantage. And it's not that we're trying to pick on Medicare Advantage, because it does have an advantage over regular Medicare. Things like dental, vision, delivering meals to your house, et cetera, that isn't available in Medicare. And what we're trying to accomplish with that is to make it an even playing field and allow Medicare to be able to give the same things, considering that Medicare subsidizes Medicare Advantage and pays for those things. So that's one of the things we're working on. And then we have a February meeting coming up in 2022 is the next time we'll actually go in and talk with our legislators about the issues that are going on for seniors. So hopefully by that time, we can get into Washington, we can get into the offices, and in fact that they'll be there so we can talk to them. So that's kind of a heads up on that. NCR updates, let me give you just a couple of quick updates. One on the FCA PSA merger. Basically, when you look at that, the merger happened as we expected, maybe more as we'd hoped. For the most part, affecting us, nothing really affected us in terms of pension plans and whatever was all transferred as you would think. I will show you something that I think is quite unusual at the end of the presentation, because it has me a little bit confused on how the organization really is set up. But we're pleased with the way the merger came off, based upon some of the financial information we've seen and has been reported. The company seems to be, the big company seems to be fairly profitable, which is great for all of us. However, we do have, as we told you before, we do have an outside legal counsel, very well-known organization in Washington, D.C., and they continue to monitor things for us. So if something happens either in Europe or the United States, something's written about what's going on internally within the company, they're kind of our watchdog just to keep us informed. So if something happens that we're not real comfortable with in terms of what might happen to us as retirees, that we're notified, and then we can hopefully jump on it as quickly as possible and make sure nothing comes out that we don't want to have happen to all of us. So the other thing is, the last thing is, we've talked about this because of the new organization. How do we alert people outside of the United States that we exist? And because the French have a completely different view sometimes of retirees and healthcare plans and retirement plans and whatever than we do in the United States, we want to make sure that not only the U.S. organization, but the European organization, let's say the fatherland, so to speak, knows who we are and understands kind of what we're trying to accomplish. So, and I think everybody's seen this, that Mike Manley left the company, so there is no longer a president of the FCA US LLC or Stellantis US or whatever it's called. So as soon as we find out if there's going to be that individual, who the individual will be, we're going to contact them, introduce ourselves, and make sure they understand kind of who we are and what we're trying to accomplish. And hopefully we can continue to build that kind of a relationship with them. Next, we met with Stellantis, we being the board, some of us in the board met with Stellantis HR a couple of weeks ago to get information on the healthcare program for 2022 for both pre-65 and post-65. Also, the insurance committee met with them on Monday to kind of delve deeper into the issues that we have, issues that you guys bring to us, and things that we need to follow up with them. And I think that meeting went really, really well, at least in I'll call it the middle management kind of an area within Stellantis. We have a pretty good relationship with them and continue to work. We have a little bit of what I'll call hands-off with some of the senior management now, since things have changed a little. So it's a little frustrating, but we'll continue to work on that. What we talked to them about, we wanted to understand, and I'm going to take you through the presentation that they gave us just really quickly. You're going to see some of this stuff in the next couple of weeks in terms of what's going on with this. But big thing is for those that are under 65, no medical plan changes this year. However, the only change it'll be is it looks like it's going to go up about 8.5% in terms of cost. Seems a little heavy to us, but when you look at the cost of everything that's going up, has anybody tried to buy hamburger recently? I was at a store buying, I do all the buying in my household in terms of shopping, and I was checking out at the grocery store, and the lady who's checking me out looked at it and said, "Holy mackerel, do you see how much it cost a grant hamburger is?" I said, "Yeah, yes I did." So I think 8.5% seems a little heavy, but when you scope it with everything else, maybe it's in line. That shows you all the other information in terms of that. You will get that, but nothing else has seemed to go up in terms of the information in terms of cost and whatever, other than the 8%. Those of you who were retired before 2010 with a gross pension of under $55,000, they've been grandfathered. The interesting thing for the over 65 is kind of hidden in here. It says they'll maintain post-age 65 HRA stipend, same as it was, $19.75 for a retiree and $17.50 for the non-retiree spouse. Employee contributions remain no change. It's been like 16 years that they've been doing this, which is important for us. 16th year. They put in $500 of contribution, $1,000 for the family. And you'll see the information there in terms of the cost and contributions that you can make in terms of the HSA. For those of you who do dental or vision, this is the year to sign up again. It signs up, I think it was every 2 years, but this is the year to sign up. Nothing's changed in terms of premiums. They remain unchanged. So you have to sign up again if you are under 65 and you do that. The other thing that's gone up, if anybody in here does the optional life insurance, that's going up 8% as well. So here's what's going to happen. September 29th, you're going to see, we reviewed it with them, I should say, on September 29th. October 20th, you're going to get a letter or an email, depending upon if they have your email address and whatever, in terms of over 65. That letter will look like this, or the email will look like this, and I will caution you, because I showed this to some of the people, because I'm confused as well, although I do find out now that some of the plants have changed and put Chrysler on the plants. You'll see at the bottom of the page when you get this, a little thing that says FCA, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, on the bottom of it. I'm confused. So maybe I shouldn't be confused, but I'm confused. Are they Stellantis, or is the U.S. organization still FCA US LLC?
The latter.
That's what I think.
That's what we heard.
Yeah, so if you see things with FCA on them, okay, we're still FCA, so it's sort of, unless sometimes you want to call it Stellantis, which, if I can say this, I have the foggiest idea what Stellantis means. But I still think Ram is a Dodge Ram, so then what do I know? And then on October 25th, those of you who are under 65, you will get this one that gives you the information on how to sign up and what to do and all the particulars on that I just covered. 27th, the enrollment ends the 10th of November, and then you'll get some more communications from Willis Towers Watson in December. So that's sort of the process for this year. So good news is we still have health care. Looks like the coverage and things are the same. Bad news is looks like it's as cost of everything, cost is going up. So considering I can still talk a little slower because I haven't used my half an hour yet. I just want to, again, thank you guys. One, we couldn't do this without you guys as members and without your support. I think a lot of the people within our board, we just have an amazing board. As Mike said, we're all volunteers, but I don't think volunteers necessarily would cover it. The guys that are here that set this thing up for us and do the webinar and do that, they do such a great job. Guys, I appreciate it, what you've done today, and I know it probably took a little longer because we're 608 days from the last time we did this, so we had to rethink and renew some things. How do we do this? And I appreciate you guys coming out. It really means a lot to us as an organization. Our goal is to try to maintain everything that we've earned, and we'll fight like crazy to make sure that happens. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mike. Appreciate it. Thanks.